Coffee with Coach.
Okay, welcome back to Coffee with Coach. This is Kristen Holbrooks, head coach of the Lake Dallas High School volleyball team. I'm joined today by soon-to-be sophomore setter middle blocker Georgia Stinson, who's a great volleyball player and equally as great human. Before we get started getting to know G beyond the court, which is the name of our series, I want to share with you the accolades this young lady has acquired while being a part of LDVB. Georgia was a freshman this year, and as a freshman, she was a sixth rotation player for us. She received academic all-district recognition, second team all-district recognition. She was nominated and voted by the Denton Record Chronicle for first team all-area, and she led our program and the varsity team in blocks and assists this year. So before we get started with all the hard questions, G, talk to us and tell us what our coffee of choice is today.
I chose the white chocolate mocha frap, or as Coach would say, frappe.
Very good. And the frappe, I will say, is one of my favorites so far. So tell us a little bit about your family, your dynamics, the makeup of your fam.
Well, I'm the middle child. I have an older sister, and she's going to college, and she's graduating early. And then I have a younger brother who's going to be going into middle school.
Very nice. And then both parents work currently in the school district.
Yes.
So your whole family. I know sister ran, brother plays sports. You obviously multi-sport athlete, which we'll get into. Parents also played sports. So talk to us about the competitive edge you have on the court and how do you kind of turn that off at home, or do you turn that off at home and during games and become more of a family member that supports?
Honestly, I never turn on my competitive side. My brother and I always turn something into a competition, and we always argue and everything. And we even have, we go to our lake house, and we have yearly basketball tournaments. And, of course, I try to win. But out of family, if my sister's in a race and my brother is playing a basketball game, I'm their biggest fan.
Very good. What about mom or dad? Who is more competitive?
They're probably going to watch this, so I can say.
And so I know mom played basketball.
Mm-hmm. My mom played, everything.
Everything?
Yeah. But basketball is probably her favorite.
What about dad? What all did he play?
My dad played basketball, baseball, and then he played, in a men's league of, men's softball. So it's, it was really competitive, and then he got old.
Okay. So tell us a little more about you. What made you fall in love or choose volleyball?
I started playing in, 7th grade. So this year is actually my first year of, playing a full club season. So it was kind of exciting. But I like it so much because it's, fresh to me. Because, like I said, I started in 7th grade, so it's, new because I played basketball my whole life. And I guess I just kind of got burnt out of that. So it was, something new that I got to play. And it was a lot different from basketball. So that's why I like it.
And being good at it also kind of helps a little bit. How do you feel like you've grown from middle school to now as a player and a person?
Well, I didn't really know, the rules or anything in middle school. I was just playing because it was another sport to play. Because I did pretty much everything. But, not only, physically, but, mentally grown. Because, I've learned more skills and stuff, but, the leadership skills in high school are a lot different. I have a reason to play. I'm playing for something. But in middle school, you're just oh, I'm just going to have fun. I don't even know what this sport is. I'm just going to play it. Yeah.
Here's the ball.
Yes.
What is the important life lesson that you've learned through competing in all of these sports that you play?
There's a lot, so it's kind of hard to decide one. But the most important was probably understanding that there's always going to be another play. If you make a mistake, don't dwell on it. There's always going to be another ball to hit, another set to set without getting called for a double. But you just always have to come back the next play and don't give up.
Very good. So talk to us before you get into the depth of this question. Tell us what all sports you played this year at high school.
This year I played varsity volleyball, varsity basketball, and varsity track. Yeah.
And then outside of school?
Outside of school, this year I just played club volleyball, but I've been playing club basketball. So it was kind of hard to choose one because varsity basketball went into my volleyball club season, so I had to come in late, and it was I know this question's about balance, and so it was hard to do that. There is no real balance. I just kind of go with the flow and whatever I think will work out at the time. So it was kind of tough this year because, like I said, basketball went into volleyball, and so I didn't really know what to do club wise. So.
Well, yeah. Well, and you said first year playing club, so that's a big undertaking in itself. It's very time consuming, especially if it's your first year. But then trying to play multiple sports. Tell us about the pros and cons about being a multi-sport athlete.
Well, obviously it works out different parts of your body because we know in volleyball we don't really run that much unless you're a setter. But, and it gives you I don't know, some things in basketball would transfer over to volleyball. So I'm I can relate it to things like a slide. Mm-hmm. You're just think of it as a layup, the footwork. And it comes more easily if you, I think for me, for playing multiple sports, it was easier to kind of combine them. And I don't know.
Yeah, take the best of all of it. And then you also played when you were younger, I heard, soccer.
Yes, I've played soccer my whole life, pretty much.
So
until COVID hit.
Do you
then I had to quit my season.
Do you feel like playing soccer helps as far as what you have to do with your feet in soccer and then getting your feet to the ball in other sports?
Yes, it definitely kept me in shape. And it helps with speed, definitely.
So what do you think the most challenging and most rewarding part about being on a team would be, in your opinion?
I think the most challenging part, especially this year, was getting your teammates to understand that you're not competing against them. You're competing with them, and you are one team, and so it doesn't have to be a competition against y'all. It's I'd be glad to have somebody, I'm glad to have a really good back row player because I'm dang it, I'm not good at back row. Dang it, why are you so good? No, it's I'm glad you're on my team. I want you on my team. I want to win.
And then what about the most rewarding part?
The most rewarding is the fact that you're part of a team. And, another family to me was, this year. And especially the coaches made me feel like it was a family.
Very good. Okay, so this one I'm anxious to know about. So you've grown up as the superintendent's child. And, it's one of those things where most people have the views that things are going to come easier for you because the superintendent is your mom. So talk about how having a parent in that role has impacted you in a positive way, and then talk a little bit about any negative things or hardships you've experienced from that as well.
Yeah, so it's really hard for me to answer this question because it's completely opposite than what people think. I feel like I've had to work twice as hard as everyone else because of the expectations, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just I feel like I've had to prove to myself and to others it doesn't come easily to me. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to answer that question because it's so personal and raw. Mm-hmm. And it's just I get emotional because I've dealt with that my whole life, and it's people just don't understand.
Right. I had to, my best friend actually in high school was our high school coach's mom. and it was always really tough for her, and it was neat with her being my best friend, getting kind of a different perspective than everyone else. But it was neat kind of seeing how her mom had to be that much harder on her and how she had to work that much harder, even if she was a better athlete naturally. People didn't see that. People just saw her last name was Castino, so was our head coach's. So that's why she was there, not because she was a good athlete. What about any positives? I mean, if my mom worked at the school that I went to in high school, I would be on edge in every class. But any positives or perks of mom being in the school district that you're in?
Well, I'm actually thankful that I've had to work twice as hard because just like having to work that hard, it gives you like a good perspective of like, it just like lets me prove to myself that I am like, I can do that. Mm-hmm. And even if people don't think that I had to work for anything or that it just came easily to me, I can prove to myself that that's not true. So it's like, I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to do that for myself.
It's good. Sometimes we're our toughest critics, too. Mm-hmm. I would say that about you most definitely.
Yes.
Let's see. So how did you mentally and physically overcome all the setbacks of your first year of high school athletics being during a pandemic?
I think the biggest and best decision I made this year was being in person for school, because I got a lot of one-on-one time with my coaches, because I have all of y'all in class, and in the gym, you know, like getting early, I guess, but it allowed me to like build better relationships and stuff while other people are at home, you know, that they don't have that opportunity. So I'm glad I chose to do that.
Very good. What are you going to take away from athletics beyond the court? So to college or later on in life, what are some of those key lessons that you'll bring with you?
I would say definitely the leadership skills that I've learned from teammates and coaches, especially like from teammates of like what not to do. Like how am I going to treat others like how I wanted to be treated. So I'll just take that away and like, yeah.
Oh, I think that's a very good statement too. Being a freshman on multiple varsity teams, your role's going to look a little different this year than it will when you're a junior or a senior. And so I think that's really cool that you get that opportunity to kind of learn what you liked from leaders that you had and then learn what you would want to do a better job of, or that what you would not want to do at all for that case. Tell us about some of your goals in life.
Short term, but definitely to continue to lead wearing number 10 wherever I'm at. But that's my short-term goal. And definitely long-term would be I've said this word a lot, but leadership skills that I've learned from this team and put it into a career and family and college and just keep it with me forever.
Good. Is there an athlete that you look up to, or is there an athlete that inspires you?
Yes. My coach right here, who also wore number 10 in college. I want to be just like her.
Well, you started with the greatest thing, the number 10 part. What's a quote that you live by?
By Oprah. You know this one? Everyone wants to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down.
Oh, I like that one.
Very true.
Very good. And then as we approach summer workouts and tryouts for the upcoming volleyball season, what is one piece of advice you would give to any incoming freshman?
I would say every chance you get into the gym, get in the weight room or on the track, even though it's like, ugh, why do I have to do that? But it's like every chance you get, take it and do that and work hard, especially this summer, and it'll all pay off. how you want it to. Trust me.
Very good. That's all we have. Georgia, thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you rep that number 10 jersey in the future. And tune in next time for Coffee with Coach.
Coffee with Coach.